How rich you can think has something to do with who you're hanging with, okay? How smart you are has something to do with your surroundings. If you hang out with dumb people, you're going to end up dumb. If you hang out with junkies, you're going to end up being a junkie. You hang out with criminals. I'm not talking about the people that go to jail. I'm talking about all the people at your office right now that cheat their employer and cheat themselves.
And I said to her, I said, look, the thing that I do at my company that is very unusual is that we are completely unreasonable without reason. We don't use, yes, I'm logical, okay? Yes, I'm a sane person. But when it comes to achieving a target, we do it with, like, we abandon reason and logic. We don't talk about, yeah, but. We never start, yeah, but, or no, we can't, or we couldn't because, or it didn't happen because. Anytime you're talking, anytime you're making sense of why something didn't work, we don't have the budget, we can't do that because, yeah, but we're different, you are being reasonable. The great things that have happened on this planet and continue to happen are because people are unreasonable. They literally abandon reason and logic. They defy the universe. Now, if you look around, if you're a logical person, if you're a person that has to make sense of it beforehand, then spend some time looking around the universe, look at nature, look at all the things that are done every day that literally defy gravity, defy possibility, defy physics. It's all over the place if you need to be reasonable.
Everyone has goals in some form or another. The hard part for most is figuring out how to turn those dreams into a reality. Before you even get started, put yourself in the right mindset and realize that you're going to have to think outside the box. Thinking logically and rationally isn't always the best way to make an impact. Prepare to gain inspiration from the things around you that don't always make sense, and try to focus on trying things differently than they've ever been done before. When you imagine these goals you want to reach, don't begin by focusing on money. Instead, decide what you want and how you are going to get it. Where do you want to live? Where do you want to go? And once you get those things, how are you going to keep them? And then how can you make them multiply? Earning money may be the first step, but real success comes from learning what to do with it once it comes. Maybe you feel comfortable where you are now, or don't feel that you need anything else. In that case, set some loftier goals for yourself so that you can continue to elevate your earning. This allows you to be able to give back in a much bigger and better way than you could when you didn't have the means. Regardless of what your motivations are, use your own experiences and what you have seen in the world around you to learn. Make small problems into big problems until your potential far outweighs either. Goals are only goals until you decide to take the first step into making them a reality. Take that step and start making it possible.
So I'm showing this to you to inspire you. Somebody wrote me and said, man, I want to know how you got all that stuff, dude. I'm like, look, bro, it's easy, okay? 3 steps. Number 1, you have to know how to make it. Most people don't know how to make money. Number 2, fewer people know how to keep it. That's discipline. You got to have discipline, and you're not going to have discipline if you don't have goals. Why would I keep money if my goals are either perverted, short-sighted, or maybe too small, okay? So you got to have monster goals, and that's going to create the discipline necessary to keep what you went out and earned. And number three, then you got to figure out how to multiply it, okay? Now, you don't need to figure out how to multiply it. When I was 25 years old and I'm broke, I didn't need to work on multiplying it. I didn't even need to work on keeping it because I didn't have any. In the beginning, in the very beginning, from the age of 25 to 35, all I did was work on, particularly in the first 3 or 4 years, all I worked on was, how do I learn how to sell? How do I learn how to sell? How do I learn how to market? How do I learn how to promote? How do I learn how to handle people's objections? I'm talking about basic stuff.
Yeah, well, you got to quit saying nonsensical stuff like, you know, I'm happy where I'm at and we're good, we're all good, you know, everything's good, I'm better off than somebody in that. You got to quit comparing yourself to other people. You got to quit talking like the middle class. Like you've somehow arrived because somebody in Iran is suffering, you know. You're good until you're not. There's nobody watching that gives enough money to charity, okay? Everybody watching should be able to give $1 million a year to charity, but you can't. You know why you can't? You would if you could, but you can't because you
didn't. You didn't produce enough, because by the way, it's not your money anyway. Somebody
Just a
else
game.
gave you the money, and you pass it on. Most of you are like, I'm really charitable, I'm really good, but you never do enough. Why? Because you never had enough. And so because you didn't produce enough, because you didn't work enough, because you didn't expand enough. So I would just say to people, look, have some loftier goals.
I grew up in Louisiana. I was getting out of college in the 80s. And at that time, there was an oil embargo. Gasoline went to like $3 a gallon. The whole world freaked out. I think it was $2.58, $2.75. Imagine this, the whole world tripped. There was people in lines, you couldn't get fuel. And what happened back then was everybody started thinking, oh my God, fuel cost is gonna kill us. Fuel cost, the cost of a gallon of gas, $2.58. Find out, go across town, don't spend your gas. Literally put more air in your tires. There was news reporters telling you to put more air in your tires so you would spend less gas. So that got grooved into my thinking. And my problem, and the problem for millions, hundreds of millions of people, became how much they paid for a gallon of gas, or how much they paid for food, right? Or how much that membership cost, or how little they got paid, right? But in this case, I'm gonna use the fuel. How much I paid for fuel determined whether or not I would have any extra money left over. I'm gonna share with you a tip here, a strategy, where I guarantee you if you do this, it will change the level of problems you have in your life, from little problems to big problems. That's right, I said it. You don't want little problems, you want big problems.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content.